Hi, I'm Rita Heikenfeld, and welcome to Love Starts in the Kitchen. Many years ago, our moms, grandmas, grandpa, probably your ancestors too, and maybe your mom or even you today, put things by. What that means is you preserve nature's bounty. And again, years ago, the reason people did that is what they ate in the winter, they grew in the summer. So, no, I'm not going to have you chained to the canner, that's for sure today. I just have an array of some really beautiful, simple things that I've made here. Some pickles, some herbal jelly, strawberry jam from June when the strawberries were ripe, and this recipe, this is really fun. This is actually grape juice. We're not going to do this on the show today, but we're going to share the recipe with you on our website. And of course, that old standby corn relish. But today, what we're going to do, we're going to show you how to pickle peppers. Let's get started, but first you have to make a brine. Now, I'm going to make a small batch. You can double this, triple this, whatever you want, but you want to start off for a small batch with 3 cups of vinegar. I like to use clear vinegar, and you could use cider, but clear gives a really pretty color. It doesn't interfere with the color of the peppers. And to that, you want to add 1 cup of water. Something interesting here, some sugar. I'm going to add about a half a cup. Now, if you wanted, you could just do straight boiling vinegar over these peppers, but this tones them out a little bit. They're not so vinegary, and they're really great. So you just want to bring that to a boil and then keep that on a low simmer. Now, back to your jars. First, you have to sterilize the jars. Put them in boiling water for 15 minutes, and they should be hot when you fill them. This isn't so hot, but it's hot enough. So remember, have your jars boiled and make sure they're good canning jars without any cracks. And now you're just going to start filling your jars up. If you want to add things like garlic or dill, you could certainly do that. But we're going to start with the peppers. And because some of these are hot, I'm going to put some rubber gloves on just to be sure. And you know what? This is a great tip for those of you working with hot peppers. There's many ways you can pickle them. You can start off by using them whole, which is what I'm going to do. And I usually just cut off the tip here. And what I'm going to do is just make a slit right down the center like this. The reason is, when you do that, it's going to expose the seeds and the inner membrane, which, by the way, the hottest part of the pepper is that little membrane, not the seeds. You could take the seeds out if you want to, but this just allows the pickling solution to work its way through the pepper more quickly. Do you have to do that? No, but I like to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with all my peppers and then just stuff them right in the jar. Again, you could add things like dill to this. You could slice the peppers. You could use, again, a variety. And if you have some sweet bell peppers like a green, throw those in too. Just slice those up. It's your pepper recipe. The great thing about this is they don't require canning in a boiling water bath. If you pour the boiling liquid over the peppers while the peppers are in a hot, sterilized jar, that canning liquid, the vinegar, the sugar, the water, or even straight vinegar is enough to preserve it. So, and by the way, you don't need a freezer for these either. The great thing about canning is they're shelf stable. So I think I've got quite enough. Let's put a little jalapeno in here. This is really pretty. There we go. Like this. And just for fun, I'm going to slice this up. Let's see. And when I do the jalapenos, I usually leave the seeds in. Yes, it's spicy pepper, but it's not so spicy that it's going to interfere. Okay, we're just about ready to pack our jars. I'm going to make sure this is boiling. And there we go. And pack them really the way you want them to look. Also, when you're pickling, whether it's peppers or pickles or whatever, pack the jars tight, because you don't want any floating pickles or peppers, as they say. So pack them tighter than you think you're going to need them. This, oh my gosh, this looks so good already. I'm sure going to be glad I have these in the winter when you can't even find good hot peppers unless you go to a specialty store. So just smush that down, just throw those in. And what I'm going to do now is make sure that has to, by the way, when you fill it, we're going to fill to the first rim, the liquid, so make sure that you don't pack them that tightly. Okay, now if you're using any aromatics like dill or garlic, you can put that on top, or even you can put it in the bottom of the jar. So what I'm going to do is I am going to smush this down, see if I can get it down there. There we go. Your main concern is that everything is under the brine. The peppers, the aromatics, everything. This is really packed quite tightly. So let's see if this is to a boil. Yes, it is. So let's get our canning funnel, and I'm just going to ladle this on top. And can you eat them right away? You could, but they take about a week or so to pickle. They last for over a year. So know that you've got some good things going until next year's crop. Oh my gosh, that smells so good. Again, if you wanted straight vinegar, you could use that too. Just plain boiling vinegar works too. I don't like that because I think the vinegar is just too pickly. But this is all you do. I have to show you a little trick. There we go. And to make sure you get all the air bubbles out, just push a butter knife down the sides like that. And that way you can see the bubbles coming up to the surface. That way nothing's going to float. Okay, now before you seal your pickles, any canned goods, make sure you wipe the rim of your jar. Any residue, whether it's vinegar, sugar, whatever, will prevent it from sealing correctly. Now, as far as sealing, you want to start off with new seals. You can use the same rings over and over again, but the seals have to be new. So you just put it on, just push it down like this, seal it tightly, as tight as you can. Now, let it sit, and what's going to happen is, overnight, you're going to hear, if you're in bed like me, and you hear a ping, ping, ping. When that center goes down, all the air's out, it's properly canned. There you have it. Homemade pickled peppers, a great gift from the kitchen, great for you, a great way to preserve nature's bounty.